Close your eyes and forget the endless white deserts. Forget the glaciers taller than mountains and the freezing silence of ice.
Millions of years ago, Greenland was not white. It was green, a land of forests, rivers, and life.
A place that today seems impossible once looked like a northern paradise. Buried beneath 2 miles of ice, that lost world is still waiting.
Long before humans, language, or tools, the Earth was wildly warmer. The poles were not frozen fortresses.
If you had stood there 3 million years ago, you would have heard wind moving through tall spruce and pine trees. The air would smell of wet earth and moss.
Temperatures were similar to modern Canada, cold winters but seasonal and alive. Greenland was a living ecosystem.
For decades, we believed Greenland was an eternal ice block, but ice lies, and it hides secrets. Researchers drilled through nearly 2 miles of ice and reached something unexpected. At the very bottom, they didn't find rock, they found soil.
Inside that frozen dirt were biological ghosts, twigs, seeds, and ancient DNA, proof that forests once grew freely here.
Imagine dense boreal forests stretching across valleys and giant beavers moving near wetlands. Sunlight never fully disappeared during the long golden summers.
But Earth is a pendulum, swinging endlessly between warmth and cold. Slowly, the planet began to cool.
One snowflake at a time, the snow began to survive the summer. Layer by layer, it compressed into ice. Ice reflects sunlight, bouncing heat back into space. A feedback loop began. The more ice formed, the colder it got. Greenland's forests died and the soil froze solid. Within a few 100,000 years, the island was buried under a colossal ice sheet. Everything was sealed away like a memory Earth refused to erase. We arrived and assumed it had always been this way. But the buried forests are a warning. If Greenland melted once, it can melt again. Prehistoric CO2 levels were similar to what we see today. That was enough to erase the ice and raise sea levels by 7 meters. Today, the story is repeating. Glaciers are retreating, and meltwater rivers carve glowing blue channels across the ice.
The ghosts of the old green world are returning. Rock, soil, and ancient plant remains are resurfacing after millions of years. Greenland teaches us that permanence is an illusion. Glaciers can become forests again.
Beneath that ice lies a forgotten world, a green world, waiting.
What if I told you that Greenland was once a lush tropical paradise teeming with life? Today, it is a desolate frozen wasteland covered by 2 miles of solid ice. The memory of its vibrant past was buried and forgotten for millions of years. Scientists recently discovered ancient DNA proving Greenland was once covered in forests. Massive cedar and poplar trees reached for the sky in a climate as warm as Florida. Mastodons and reindeer roamed through meadows filled with vibrant wildflowers. This was a true northern Eden, a thriving ecosystem at the top of the world. Greenland's transformation from green to white shows just how much our planet can change. Subscribe now to journey back in time and uncover more of Earth's greatest mysteries.